Hey, what's going on, guys? And we're here to talk about the Bronco. It's been out for a few, you know, um, and I think the biggest news in the Bronco world was the first was actually it's two of them. Was the first was the soft top was pretty much getting snow in it, like getting bypassed, that type of deal. But you expect like a brand new vehicle to have some bugs, first year out, stuff like that. I heard Ford. Sorry about the traffic today. I heard Ford, took care of a lot of those issues. Then it was the 2.7 liter having some valve train problems. You guys, every vehicle has a problem. Like nothing is perfect, especially when you mass produce it. The 2.7 liter has been known to be a very reliable engine. So we're just addressing those facts right now. When I get to the other part of the video, I'll explain some other things. But overall, it's still not a vehicle. I heard something about the engine. It just turned off or doesn't work. And again, you just stuff like that will happen, especially on newer vehicles. Hey guys, I'm back. Shano here, talking about the Bronco, and basically the two things that happened with it was the soft top, and then obviously the valve train problem that I had. I think it was a valve train problem. And I wanted to deter yourself from buying a Bronco. What Ford really needs to push on, because every vehicle out there, brand new, no matter how much money you spend on it, is going to have an issue. There's people that bought, there's a Bronco right there. There's the people that bought Hellcats 800 miles and motorboats just because of one little flaw. So as long as you have a warranty, I want to deter yourself from buying a Bronco. I'm going to go buy, a Jeep Wrangler, maybe the Penastars, man. They're not very good. I would not trust a Pentastar engine to save them. I just wouldn't. They've had tons of issues ever since that motor was born. Tons of replacement, tons of valve train issues. The 2.7 liter EcoBoost is actually a really reliable engine. It was meant for a truck. The way it was designed and everything else. It's just that things happen and you can't, predict it. Especially a vehicle that is assembled, just basically mass produced. So, but Ford usually takes care of the problems pretty quickly. Oh, sorry, excuse me, I have to whip my nose. I don't know why I said that. Sorry about that, guys. Other than that, I think the Ford Bronco nails it in all departments. I understand, like, if you're a Wrangler fan, Jeep fan, and you still go buy a Jeep, I'm not here to push you towards the Bronco at all. I think Jeep still has its own thing going on. It's still a Jeep. But as far as functionality, room, because I drove a Wrangler recently. I was just looking around. I drove a Wrangler, and just you go out, you test drive vehicles for fun. And I just wasn't thrilled about it. I thought the windshield was too far up, the dash is too small. I know it's a Jeep, I know that, but the ride was horrible. It's got that front solid. It's good for if you're going rock crawling or something. In a lot of ways, you still don't need it. The Bronco's even proven that a front independent can go over whatever it can go over, and it's been proven. So you really need a solid front end. I mean, I know it's strong and everything, but still, it's especially in higher when you're up in the higher mile, range, miles per hour range. A lot going on today. A lot of traffic going on today. But when you go down to functionality, I think the Wrangler shouldn't get rid of its look. But they got to take a page from the Bronco, because the Bronco, basically the functionality of the Bronco, the room it has. I've sat in a few, I drove one, and it was night and day with the Wrangler. The Bronco was just a lot better. Just driving it on the road, driving around town. The functionality of the doors, you can store all the doors in the roof, which I would go for the hard top. The only time I would go for a soft top, it would just be the top part or something like that, some type of automated system or something like that, if you just want to put it back real quick. But you can store everything inside the vehicle and then put it back on wherever you're at. In the Wrangler, you don't have that option. So there's a lot of points going to the Bronco. The only thing I like about the Wrangler is the way it looks, as far as it looks kind of like a military vehicle, that type of deal. It has that look, and it's a strong look. It's a very billet like looking strong vehicle. So it definitely has that going for it. But I think what they should do with the Wrangler is take a page from the Bronco, and the body itself needs to get a bit bigger, and it doesn't have to get so narrow. It can kind of go in and then go up. I'll get to the Wrangler in another video of like more in depth what they need to do. But I think the overall the Bronco nailed it in a lot of departments that people, that's what they see. That's what they're going to see. Should it be offered with a 5.0? That's the biggest gripe about Ford is, why are you sitting on your ass? You have a 5.0 liter, you have a 5.2, you have a 5-point Predator, supercharged. Why aren't these options going in your vehicles? The Shelby, you can make a deal with Shelby and just make Shelbys, and stop selling them for undercut the competition. Stop the dealerships from markups. You have one on a lot, and that is a big problem. Is that if you have one special model that's got more power, or it's offered with a V8, you're going to jack the price up on it because you have one on the lot, instead of putting like 3 or 4 on a lot and undercutting the competition by price. And now you have something that people really want. So yeah, obviously a V8 needs to be underneath the hood, just like the Explorer. Shelby models, do it like they did with Dodge back in the Daytona days. They beefed it up by like 25 horsepower. Dodge Daytona Shelby Z. They beefed it up. They put the Shelby name on it. They gave it, Shelby came along and said this should be better, that should be better, but they had a better, overall it was a better drivetrain than the stock Daytona back in the 80s. Had 175 more horsepower, had a little bit of Shelby turbo badging on it, but it was like, fully loaded, it was like $13,500. It was less than $14,000 for that, for one of those cars. It was quick, it was fun, it had T-tops, and that's the recipe right there. The ST badge is okay, but if it said Shelby, it would be even better. So get rid of the ST badging, bring back the Shelby mid-level, it's just, it's the Shelby, Shelby levels, there might be a reason why they don't want to do that, Shelby's wants to be more special, not just like a whatever, but, so I understand that department. If they could do it, it would be cool, though. If they can just partner up that way, and say, we're just going to, pretty much use the name, and have different levels of, this is the Shelby package. Just put a Shelby. It could be the EcoBoost. It could be the 5.0. It could be whatever. It doesn't have to be a supercharged beast. It could be a Shelby package, and you get the Shelby wheels, and you get the Shelby brakes, or you get the Shelby seats, and so forth and so forth. To me, that would be more special than an ST model. It's like, I got the ST model. Yeah, it's quicker. It's not really, to me, it's just not impacting me as much as if it said Shelby on the back. So that's my idea as far as across their lineup. They can just bring back that Shelby name like Dodge kind of used back in the 90s, like the early 90s, late 80s, mid 80s. And you guys are partnered with Shelby for so long, I'm sure it won't be a problem to make these Shelby packages and had different grades of the Shelby package, but get that V underneath the hood. And I hate to say this, I think Ford needs to follow the recipe as far as the inline turbo. Inline engines are very well balanced. There's only, at that point, you only have 2 cams to work with. You don't have these V6s, which is there's 4 cams and more valves and more this, more that. And I think the inline is the way to go. Now, the new Dodge engine coming out with the Tornado is not a Dodge engine. It's, excuse me, I got an itch. It's a Fiat motor. In my opinion, it might be a BMW block because the ZF transmissions, the H8 HPs that Dodge uses are BMW, basically a German transmission. Ford builds that amazing 10-speed. Dodge uses a German transmission on the Mercedes-Benz platform. The only thing Dodge really bad is probably the car. It's like the skin, the interior, and the engine. Maybe the rear, I don't know. But they beef up the transmission on the ZF transmission. They beef it up and then they rename it the Torque Flow. But it's still a German transmission. Anyway, saying that, I think the Bronco is... I'm going to give it an A for practicality, for a lot of things that it has going on with it. Drivability. I'm gonna give it, as far as, I'm gonna separate it. As far as its power, its power that it has underneath the hood, I'll give it a B. Maybe a C plus. Yeah, we'll do a C plus. I think they can offer. I think they can do a manual with a V8. I think they do the automatic with the V8. I think they can do a lot more with that vehicle. Maybe time will tell. And I think a lot of people are still waiting for a 429 to come out. Now, buying a Bronco with a 429 in it would be candy for people. Just candy. And you know what? Some things are crazy, but that's what people want. You know, I'm telling you what they want, that's what they want. A lot of people will still be happy with the 5.0. Dodge put the 392 in the Wrangler. And, but still, taking that thing up to, even my truck is iffy at 80, 90 miles an hour. You know, and I plan on getting it like a 2-inch lift and stuff like that, so. But, you hear what I'm saying? Like, I think what Jeep, I really want to make a video on the Jeep, what they need to do and stuff like that. I'll say it. Man, there's a lot of traffic out today. Sorry, guys. So let me comments down below. If you're shopping for a Wrangler or Bronco, you see where I live around, right? The guy down the street has like, he just bought the house. It used to be, thank God though, like I'd rather listen to his vehicles than the lawnmower company that worked out of there in this neighborhood. So he tore that all down, built a new garage, and he's got all these, like, he has like 4 cars in there, like it's mostly a Chevy, Corvette, stuff like that, Camaro. So that's all you hear off and on every day. But at least it's better than the lawnmower equipment crap, a big ass truck coming out of there. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below. Wrangler, Bronco, you're shopping for one. I would definitely look at the Bronco, test drive them both, and I think you're going to make the right decision on which one you're going to want. I think the 392, obviously that's a little spicy, but again, with that front end, the most fun you're going to have is probably till 60, 70, maybe miles per hour, maybe. So I think overall, if Ford does offer the V8, I think they got a big winner on their hands. But they need to start to get their asses moving on that. Now is the time. You know, if Dodge is getting rid of V8s, now is the time to jump on the bandwagon and take over. Anyway, later.